Welcome to Burning Bright, a weekly podcast presenting poetry and prose from Passenger. The Vietnam War was a devastating conflict. It pitted the communist government of North Vietnam against its southern counterpart and its main ally, the United States. In 1973, with the signing of the Paris Peace Accords, Richard Nixon declared the war over and began to bring U.S. troops home. But it wasn't until April 30th, 1975, that the Vietnam War really ended. That's when North Vietnamese forces captured Saigon, reunifying the country under communist rule. To commemorate the 51st anniversary of that April 30th capture of Saigon, some pieces that explore the profound impact this war had on Americans. Jeffrey Minch said that for him, soldiering is the family business. He said he wrote this next poem, quote, to dramatize the unrealistic expectations we assume of young officers in times of peace and war. Some of them, the young officers, learn their trade quickly. Some die in the process. Some get your kids killed as they learn. Jeffrey Minch said soldiering is a dangerous business and war is an obscenity. Here's an excerpt from Jeffrey's piece, The Moment Before the Moment. Republic of Vietnam, A Shau Valley, 101st Airborne Division, October 1968. There is a moment just before the world is going to change forever, in which you contemplate everything you know, everything you have planned, everything that can go wrong, and all of your fears. It is the moment before the moment when you take that final step. And nothing thereafter can be changed. You turn yourself over to your fate, your training, your limited experience, and your luck. And you hope, you pray, you are lucky. The lieutenant briefed the sergeants for what seemed like the 10th time that afternoon. Sitting under the shade of a tent in the still sweltering heat and the sticky humidity made them want to escape the briefings. Trying to stay awake during the briefings was almost as difficult as trying to stay alive would become. But they had to stay alert. The lieutenant required all the sergeants to brief back the plan, and then the sergeants made the soldiers do the same. They had reconned the location by air. The map was almost worn out by their hot, intent eyes and probing fingers. A sand table, a faithful replica of the site, was at their feet. Nobody was going anywhere until they all got it perfect. An excerpt from Jeffrey Minch's piece, The Moment Before the Moment, from Passenger's Winter 2016 issue. Several Passenger authors have written about the actual experience of war. Others have written about the consequences. In his poem Comrades, Michael Miller paints a somber image of a veteran's lonely life after the Vietnam War. Something inside him winced at the word Vietnam, where he kissed a bar girl for luck before every patrol. Ambushes, firefights, the bodies of comrades in bloody pieces. On his forearm, the tattoo, Death Before Dishonor. Fishing and hunting in the Blue Ridge Mountains were his medication. Whiskey on the porch with Johnny Cash singing as he dozed. 2 marriages failed before solitude became his trusted comrade. Michael Miller's poem, Comrades, from his book, The Solitude of Memory. Gary Lark said that when he was young, he spent many hours listening to stories spun around the wood stove or on the porch. He said, "There's a depth of experience and wisdom that comes from being used by forces beyond an individual's control." In his poem, Yours, Mine, and Ours, Gary pictures that setting as another generation comes home from the war. They sit on the porch, talking a language fit for a hot afternoon. "You seen Hollister's boy?" "Yes, I have." "Grasshoppers dance in the yard." "That war messed 'em up good." "That it did." The smell of pine and sweat lay in the air. "They say he busted up Shorty's Tavern last night." "I heard." One of the Sutter boys rides by on a rusty bike. "He should do more fishing and less fighting." That's true, and if he survives another year or two, he might. A dust devil travels across the road. "Took us a while with our war." Yes, it did. Gary Lark's poem, Yours, Mine, and Ours, from Passager's Winter 2014 issue. To buy Michael Miller's book, The Solitude of Memory, subscribe to, donate to, or learn more about Passager and its commitment to older writers, visit PassagerBooks.com. Passager offers a 25% discount on the books and journal issues featured here on Burning Bright. Visit our website to see what's on sale this week. Special thanks to New York University intern Alberto Rodriguez for researching and writing this episode of Burning Bright. For Christine, Roseanne, Mary, Asher, and the rest of the Passager staff, I'm John Shore.